this spring and a bicycle I want, and my wife said since there's only two of us, we should be limited to 10 bicycles and motorcycles in the yard. So I said, okay, I got to get rid of a couple. Don't care which, but here's what we've got, and I'll try to give information on how to pick a bike while we go through it on bicycles to get rid of. Mostly I got e-bikes here because I'd like to upgrade some and I'd like to get some different stuff. If you haven't had an e-bike before, my opinions on bicycles, I'm sure you'll have other people with different perspectives. First and foremost, it's my opinion that you want something with a removable battery so that you can take the battery out of the bicycle when you're charging it, so that if you're going on trips and you want to take the battery up to the hotel room, but you don't want to haul the whole bike, or if you're going on a trip on the bicycles from Wausau to Green Bay, and you want to take the batteries into the restaurant and plug them in the back. They don't want your bikes in there, but they don't mind taking the batteries in. So that's where I'm at on make sure that whatever you pick, you've got a decent charger and a removable battery. I've stuck with that with the e-bikes I've had. So often you see bikes advertised and people are selling you, it's either got SRAM or Shimano derailleurs, and saying SRAM or Shimano is a bit like saying that you've got a General Motors car for sale. General Motors could be a Cadillac Escalade or a Chevy Chevette or a Saturn, whatever, or everything in between. So make sure you understand which derailleur you're getting, like a SRAM X4 or a Shimano Dior XT, because there's some really high-end stuff like Dura Ace or stuff like that, that it's kind of like Formula One auto racing. It's finicky and it's going to be expensive to fix. There's also some really crappy stuff that you see like on Walmart bikes, Alcera derailleurs. Acera, I think they are. They're Shimano, but they're junk from Shimano. So make sure you get Dior or XT level derailleurs so you get decent stuff. You can go on the internet and see which derailleurs are good and bad. So with that being said, these are the bikes that I've got for sale. And you're going to see carbon fiber bikes for sale. I like to stick to aluminum when I can, or chromoly alloy. So you got a good lightweight bike. Not a fan of carbon fiber. Maybe it's better now, but it was my experience early on that if you've got a carbon fiber bike, if you dent the bike, like see this frame, got chipped here, the paint's chipped. If that had been carbon fiber, the carbon fiber would be chipped. And carbon fiber being chipped is kind of like a sweater unraveling. It's not something I want to deal with, especially on used bikes. So again, make sure you got removable battery. Make sure you got decent quality derailleurs, because if they don't shift, it sucks. And make sure you've got low weight but aluminum or alloy frames, not carbon fiber. That being said, these are the bikes I've got for sale. I've got these two Gravity fat tire mountain bikes that I use for winter fat biking. I've got two that the wheelbase and frame geometry is the same, except you can see this one has a lower frame, that one has a taller frame. This is for a 5 to 5'6" rider. That's for a 5'6" to 6 foot rider. They have Bafang 750 watt motors, and they've got the SRAM GX components. I've got the Chester pedals. The pedals on this bike and the aftermarket chains and sprocket setup cost me a couple $100, and they are great and they are incredible in the woods and incredible fun to ride. Just I only use one, and I don't really have other people riding along on the second one, so I've been alternating between the two so they get equal wear and tear. They've got a decent control system. You turn it on here, and then it gives you this control, and then you can adjust between level 1 all the way up to level 5 or back down. And they do have a throttle. I'm not going to hit that or they're going to boost it. And again, Bafang is a Chinese company that built more bicycle electric motors than everybody else in the world put together. Bulletproof, solid. If I'm going to buy a motor, I'm going to look for Bafang, Shimano, or Yamaha. I don't want something else that I can't get parts for or don't know what it is. So I got these two bikes. I'd like to sell them as a pair, and I'll put the price in the description in case it changes. I think I paid, in the middle of COVID, we all paid crazy stuff for stuff that we're not going to get again, and I think I paid like $2,500 each for these, and I'm never going to see that, but so be it. I've got one manual bike because I never ride manual mountain bike anymore. I always ride electric so that if I go up a hill, I don't have to work so hard. This was my first 29-inch mountain bike. Really great bike. And again, focus on getting, it's got SRAM X4 components. Sprockets are decent. And everything works well. Wheels are straight. Hydraulic disc brakes. Every bike here has hydraulic disc brakes. No cable stuff of any kind. We're past all that. Oh, I take that back. Do these have cable brakes or these? Nope, these are hydraulic too. So yeah, so everything here is all hydraulic brakes. Everything has a front fork. Everything has decent components. This bike is a 29er, and it was my first 29er. Great bike, but it's probably old as whoever's going to buy it from me. A couple $100, get it out of the yard. Then I've got these two. These were the first two electric bikes we bought. Great bikes. They've got the Shimano Steps drive system, and with the Steps drive system, you hit it to turn it on, and it has 3 power levels. If you look here, it's got manual is off, and it's got eco boost, trail mode, and full boost mode. Full boost mode, you might get 20 miles of range. Trail, you might get 30, and if you just go with eco, where it gives you some support on the hills and rolls, you might get 45, 50. So that's what these are. And again, really good, solid bikes. I don't care what brand of frame you get. These are felts. It was pointed out to me that Giant makes more frames than everybody else put together in Taiwan. And a lot of the bikes that you buy, like a Trek or a Specialized, just like Apple doesn't make a phone, Trek doesn't build a frame. They buy them from Giant, and so do these other brands. So make sure you get really good components, get decent wheels, decent tires, but don't worry about what brand of bike it is, because that really doesn't matter. These two bikes also are. See the frame height? This one over here is made for somebody 5 to 5'6". This one's made for somebody 5'6" to 6 foot. Small frame, medium frame. These bikes are great that by having these, we will bike to local events, to go get something from Quick Trip, to use. The number of miles we put on bikes because we have these two is incredible. I'd like to see them go as a pair to a couple that needs to get out and go biking. This bike is the one that I've probably ridden, definitely the one I've ridden the most in the last 2 years. It's a 2-year-old Giant 29er electric mountain bike. It's electric stance, so it's got that expanded front fork section. It's got decent brakes, and it's got a decent fork, and everything on it is a little bit higher end. The derailleur on it is a Deore, and this one, instead of the rear drive like those, it's the mid drive like these, and the mid drive on this is actually, let me step in here. It's, I thought it said it over here. I think it's a Yamaha. Let me get back out of the frame. And yeah, it's a Yamaha drive system. So again, I would look at Shimano, Yamaha, or Bafang. I wouldn't use one of these other no names that you don't know what you're getting. This bike has been great for me. It works wonderfully. I'm just thinking of upgrading to something that can have a little bit longer distance capability. Right now, I can ride this for about 3 to 4 hours, and then the battery starts to go dead. And I'm thinking about some go out west trips, so I might go something that's a little bit more for a downhill type bike. But again, this one I think was like $4,500, and COVID's over and I'm willing to take a hit. So if you're looking for a really good off-road that's been well maintained, this is it. So let me know if you're interested in any of these bikes, because I got to get rid of 2 of them, or a couple of motorcycles. That'll be a different ad. And I do have a couple different bike racks around here to haul bikes. I got like 3 different bike racks. So if somebody comes to look at a bike, I can probably cut them a great deal on bike racks too. So check the ad for contact, and I'll update the ad to say what's still here. Thanks for watching. If nothing else, I hope it helped you do some bike shopping. Again, don't worry about brand. Worry about making sure you got a decent, lightweight aluminum frame. Make sure you have decent derailleurs. Every derailleur is a Shimano or a SRAM derailleur. Which model is it? That's what's important. And if you're going to buy electric, make sure you know what brand of motor you're getting. And again, I wouldn't buy it unless it's a Bafang, because they're the volume producer, or Shimano or Yamaha, because they do the quality. And if it's the brand of the bike, it's not really the brand of the bike. They're buying from somebody else. Find out who that is. Specialized does not make a motor. So hopefully that helps. Thanks.